What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be going through my Game Week 34 team and transfers. Double Game Week 34 is definitely the most exciting game week of the season so far. I'm going to try and get 11 double Game Week players in my team. We're taking a -4 hit, and it is only going to be my 5th -4 of the season. I've been a very patient player this year. I'm going into this double Game Week with 8 double Game Week players and a little bit of money in the bank. But guys, I want to bring in some big players, so I've got to free up some money in the bank. And what better way to do that than with my first transfer by selling Haaland? Yes, the big man himself is leaving my team. It doesn't matter too much because I am going to use my wild card in Game Week 35. So he's only going to be gone for one game week. But to sell him, I want to bring in a lethal striker for double Game Week 34. And that is in the form of Cunha. I personally have never owned Cunha this year, but I wish I had. Before his injury, he was on fire, scoring goals all the time. And now I can get him against Bournemouth at home and Arsenal at home. I'm hoping for a couple goals in this double game week. That transfer from Haaland to Cunha is one that I've already done. I did it straight after Wolves and Man City played so I could make sure there was no injury scares or nothing like that. And I'm quite impatient. I just really wanted that money in the bank. The next player I've already sold with my second free transfer is Anthony Gordon. Despite his 17-pointer for me last week, he's not got a double in Game Week 34, so he's got to go. And selling Gordon, the player I want to bring in, is an absolute no-brainer. It is Eze ahead of those easy Crystal Palace games. And everyone's talking about it, how Crystal Palace probably have the best fixtures for this double game week. I've seen people saying you should be tripling up on Crystal Palace plays if you're on a free hit. I actually completely disagree with that. I think Eze and Mateta are the only good Crystal Palace assets. Guys, we need to remember they're not actually that good of a team, despite how easy their games are. I think going for the Crystal Palace defence and someone like Elise is a bad idea. Hopefully, I don't regret saying that. So, guys, at the time of recording this, I've already used my 2 free transfers. I've sold Gordon and Haaland. I've got in Cunha and I've got in Eze. With the third transfer, the potential hit, I've not made just yet, but I think I'm 90% leaning towards making that transfer. And that is obviously going to the man in the thumbnail, Big Trent. Now, the only reason I haven't made that transfer yet is because I'm waiting for Thursday's game to be played, which is currently going to be played in a few hours. And I'm going to see Trent's minutes there. I guess the ideal scenario is he mainly just comes off the bench, plays 45 minutes, maybe a little less, just because I don't want him to play a full 90 ahead of a game on Sunday. But if he does, then it also means, he's fully back from injury. So I don't really know what the best case scenario is. I'm just hoping he doesn't go off injured again. Because I currently have Zabarnyi in my double Game Week 34 team, and I really don't want to play him. I think he's going to be lucky to get more than 3 points across these 2 games against Wolves and Aston Villa. I'm already choosing to play Foden ahead of Zabarnyi. What I need to do now is get Trent in my team, and hopefully he gets more points than Zabarnyi. And hoping Trent gets more points than Zabarnyi is basically hoping Trent gets 7 points, which I think is quite doable if he can actually start both games in the double game week. But obviously that's unknown at the moment. Despite Bradley's injury, in which he is out for 3 weeks, it doesn't mean Trent can just straight away come into that team. So my current plans is not to sell Zabarnyi, but just keep him on the bench, transfer out Castagna, who's been useless to me recently, and then bring in Trent to play him over Zabarnyi. Then I'll go into the double game week with technically 11 double game week players, except one of those will be on my bench in the place of Foden, who I think is good enough in a single game week. So I'm not too mad about it. The good thing is about all these transfers I'm making, they're all only going to be in my team for one game week, simply because for those last 3 game weeks, I'm going to wild card. If you do need to think about double game week 37, don't be like me and start selling all your Man City and Newcastle players, because they need to be in your team for double game week 37 if you want to have a good game week. We'll load up the team now. First, we're going to talk about Pickford in goal, who I have mid hopes for. If he gets anything more than 7 points, it's a pretty big win considering it's only 4.5 million in my team. Against Forest, I'm hoping for a clean sheet. But if he can pick up a few save points here, a few save points against Liverpool, then I'll be pretty happy with it. Moving on to the back 3 of defence, we've got Trent in there, hypothetically now, because I do think I'm going to make that transfer. But if anything changes, I will upload my team on Instagram at the deadline. So for now, we've got Trent in there. It's 2 away games, and I know people are thinking Liverpool haven't been keeping too many clean sheets recently, but they are 3rd for expected clean sheets in the last 5 games. So their defence is still pretty solid. They've just been letting the odd goal in to, bring down the defenders' clean sheet points. So I'm hoping for Trent, ideal scenario, at least 1 clean sheet and at least 1 goal involvement in this double game week, which, to be fair, isn't a lot to ask for considering we know what Trent can do when Liverpool are actually playing well. To finish off the defence, we've obviously got 2 Arsenal players. We've got Gabriel and Saliba. I think those two are the best to own this game week. Saliba pretty much doesn't have any goal threat, any assist potential like all the others do, but he is the most secured and he's not going to get rotated. You can't say the same for players like Zinchenko and Ben White, so I'm fine with that. And Gabriel, he could easily go ahead and score a header. I think he's had 0.97 expected goals in the last 5 games. He's not come away with a goal, but the point is he could have. So maybe he will against Wolves or Chelsea. We don't know. Overall, incredibly happy with that defense plus goalkeeper. I don't think it gets much better than that. Now we're going to move on to the midfield. So we've got 3 no-brainers here. Obviously, you know about Eze already. And we've obviously got Salah and Saka in there alongside him. These 2 are your must-own plays for double game week 34. Saka is the main man for Arsenal. Salah is the main man for Liverpool. Now, I am a little worried about Arsenal and Liverpool just because both teams are on, not bad form, but it's not great. And we don't want a repeat of the last double game week where Liverpool absolutely let us down. It might happen again. Fingers crossed it doesn't, because I know people will be hating on double game weeks for the rest of the time if it does. But I've got high hopes for these 2. I'm not expecting a big rank gain from when they get points because they are going to be pretty high owned. But I think they can do me some good in my team. Next in the midfield, we have Foden, the only single game week player in my team. I still think he's going to do well. Despite him only having a single game week, I do think you can get a goal contribution here and it will make him worth the while. And we're actually at a game week where Foden could even be a differential because people aren't going to be owning many single game week players. Finally, guys, we have that front 3. The first one in the lineup is Nunez, who I now think is a bit of a minutes risk, but that's not going to stop me. I'll be quite lucky if he can manage 2 starts in this double game week, because I know recently, obviously, Jota's come back from injury and Nunez has been stinking out the gaff a little bit. I mean, he's missing quite a few easy chances. And when Liverpool fans are getting kind of sick of him, you know it's bad because Liverpool fans just praise him week in, week out for absolutely no good reason. So I am a teensy bit worried about that, but I do think he can bring 1 start for me and then get subbed on hopefully maybe in the 60th minute. That'll be an okay amount of minutes. It's enough times to get a couple goal contributions when you play for Liverpool. Along with him in that front 3, I've already told you guys about Cunha. 2 okay games. The Bournemouth one is very good. Arsenal one is kind of hard, but Arsenal's bad form may mean he could get a little, something in that game. And finishing off the team is someone who's been in my team for a little while now, and that is Solanke. I don't have massive hopes for this guy, 2 games that aren't the easiest. I'm hoping for at least 1 goal, maybe 2 if I'm lucky. But he's also going to get some good minutes for it in one of those games to give him a pretty high double game week score. Now, we've gone through the whole team. We've got to talk about captaincy. And I really want to put it on Trent, but there's no way I'm going to let myself do that and take that stupid risk. I'm 90% sure it's going to go on Salah. Nunez, minutes risk. Solanke, hard games. Cunha, 1 hard game. Eze is alright, but at the end of the day, he's not the most consistent player. We have to remember, he does play for Crystal Palace, and there's a reason he only costs 6 mil, and Salah costs 13 point something mil. So for that reason, I am probably going to go with Salah, but you could make good cases for Eze or Cunha if you really wanted to. I just think it's a little bit risky. I want you guys to let me know what you think of my team. What would you have done differently if you were in my shoes? I think this team is hopefully going to give me a big green arrow, and I really need one right now, trust me. As always, guys, thank you for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.